Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris and welcome to a breaking news LEGO video. So after months of speculation and a little under half the series leaking, the LEGO Marvel Collectible Minifigure Series has finally been revealed, and there's a ton to take a look at. So let's dive into those images right now. Okay, so here is set number 71031, LEGO Marvel Superheroes Collectible Minifigures. Now, of course, as you can see, these are based off of the Disney Plus shows which just released this year, starting off with Wandavision, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then Loki, and finally several minifigures for the What If animated series, which is coming out later this year. So immediately you can see, I'll probably just start off in order with these. We get Scarlet Witch in her full outfit that she appeared in at the end of WandaVision, likely going to be the same outfit she wears in Doctor Strange 2, so that's really nice to get in full detail here. We also get White Vision, who unfortunately was based off of concept art. So the figure is a little bit inaccurate if you look very closely. The Mind Stone, or whatever the stone in his forehead is actually glowing orange, and there's a lot of gold on his torso that honestly wasn't really there for the final show, but it still looks pretty good. Next up, there's Monica Rambeau, or Photon, from WandaVision as well. You can see she's wearing the standard sword astronaut outfit that she wore in the show. Unfortunately, the legs are just plain black and unprinted, but honestly, I don't really know if they really needed to be a print, so I think it generally works out okay. Obviously though, it's definitely not one of the more interesting figures because there's not a ton of printing on it, and there's a few more interesting stuff moving on later down the line. Her accessory is just the red helicopter that Wanda actually found when she was trying to break through the reality of the show, so you can kind of see that there. It's just a brick-built helicopter, nothing really special about it. Moving on, let's take a look at the two figures we're getting for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now we're actually getting both Sam and Bucky, both equipped with the same Captain America shield, which I think makes sense. It's good to get that shield in two different places. Now, of course, Sam is sporting a brand new molded wing element. This is actually a new piece for this collectible minifigure series. Of course, it's just using the same wingtips that he uses on most of the other figures, just the standard flag pieces here. But you can see that the back piece is completely new and definitely does suit the figure quite well. Now, of course, this figure is fully detailed with dual molded legs, print on the sides of the legs and sides of the arms, and is definitely one of the best Captain America figures we've gotten ever, and definitely the best Falcon figure too. Moving on to Bucky, he is a little bit less interesting by comparison, but it's still a good representation. Of course, he features printing on his robotic arm, but definitely not really anything too crazy going on, unlike the Falcon figure up at the top. Moving on, we can take a look at the two figures we're getting for the Loki show. So of course we have Loki himself in his TVA analyst uniform, which is basically the outfit that he uses throughout the entire season, so that definitely is a good choice to get. I'm glad we actually get him in this outfit because it is the one that he wears throughout the entire show. Loki actually comes with a mug that says TVA, as well as the Frog Thor, or Throg, which actually was supposed to have a much longer appearance throughout certain segments of the Loki show, and unfortunately was cut and only appeared in a brief cameo. So I'm guessing that LEGO was working off of older story descriptions or older concept art and figured that Throg would play a larger role. Unfortunately, he didn't, but this is a great way to get, say, a comics Throg, because it basically is just the standard Thor frog from the comics. It's a special mold with a frog wielding a hammer, which is really cute. Moving on, we have Sylvie, who unfortunately just has plain unprinted legs, but again, kind of the same case as Monica Rambeau, where she didn't really need it. Now, on the sides of her arms, she does have printing, and she is wielding the dagger that she usually uses in the show. I'm not necessarily too sold on the face printing. I think that probably could have been a little bit more improved, but everything else is really great. Now, she does come with the crocodile version of Loki as well, which a lot of fans have been wanting. Unfortunately, though, this is not necessarily going to be a specialized mold. It does not feature the crown that Crocodile Loki wore to actually separate him out from regular crocodiles, and instead it's just a standard baby crocodile mold. If anything, I would expect that mold to, say, reappear in LEGO City, because City's doing this whole animal sub-theme, and I feel like it would make sense to, say, reuse that mold there. So definitely really works well as a baby crocodile, but as Crocodile Loki, I don't necessarily know about that. Unfortunately, I really wish that it had that crown included as well. And finally, we are getting 5 minifigures based on the animated What If series. So starting off here, we have Captain Peggy Carter. This is in the What If story if she became what essentially is Captain America rather than Steve Rogers. This is actually a different outfit than we're getting in the actual sets for What If. She's sporting some sort of a stealth suit in the sets, which seems to be a more modern outfit, which potentially may spoil some events of What If, but right now this is just the outfit that she wears in the trailer and seemingly in that time period, so it's fully detailed, dual molded with the arm printing and everything. Unfortunately, the Cosmic Cube is just two 1x1 plates stacked together. In the sets, they actually recolored a LEGO Minecraft head to be completely transparent, so not really sure why they didn't reuse that piece here. I thought it was the perfect piece for the Cosmic Cube, but I guess not, and they just decided to use this standard two plates stacked together. Moving on, we have the T'Challa Star-Lord figure. This is a what if T'Challa was abducted by the Ravagers instead of Peter Quill, and it's basically a standard Star-Lord figure with a similar helmet piece, except this time it is featuring a more purple printing, which you can see along the sides here. Next up, we have the Spider-Man Sorcerer Supreme. So this is a scenario where what if Spider-Man was Doctor Strange, and essentially what's really great about this is that the Spider-Man outfit that it uses here is literally the exact same one that they use in the new Avengers Campus Disney Park. So if you want an accurate LEGO Avengers Campus Spider-Man minifigure, this is literally perfect, and it basically just has a cape slapped on it. So that's really great to see. It also does come with an alternate face for Peter Parker himself, so I definitely will be picking up two of these, one to display with his wrap off and one to display with the mask on. And now moving on to the final two figures. First off, we have a what if Gamora was Thanos figure. So it basically is just Thanos' standard armor, except with a Gamora styling to it with the printing on the sides of the arms. The sword is unfortunately just kind of a very generic thing. We've definitely seen that exact thing in Ninjago before, so it's just a standard sword, but I guess they maybe just didn't have the budget to make a new mold for that. And as far as everything else, the face and hair for Gamora looks basically very similar to what we've gotten before. And lastly, there is Zombie Captain America. Now this actually is our third Captain America styled figure in this series, fourth if you count Bucky wielding the Captain America shield, but I certainly am not complaining because that damaged shield looks really good. It's awesome to get a full-on zombie figure because this is really not something they would tend to do in the standard MCU, but with What If you actually get to play around with a few different scenarios like this one. So really awesome to get this character as a figure. You can see that it has full-on printing, dual molded legs, printing on the arms, a very specialized face, and even some special printing for the helmet for the worn down suit. It's a really great one, and honestly, some pieces of this could probably be used to represent a good endgame cap where his suit is very much damaged and scratched up. But with that, we've summed up our look at the Marvel Superheroes collectible minifigure series. Each of these minifigures retails for $5 US, and this is certainly a nice surprise to get, especially after many of us weren't even sure if a Marvel collectible minifigure series was possible. Now I for one am certainly hoping this will not be the last Marvel CMF, because there's a ton of characters from both the movies and the comics that we're missing, and I think it might actually be a really good idea for them to do an Infinity Saga Marvel collectible minifigure series at least sometime in the future so we can get some characters that we never got before. Okay, that wraps up our look at the new LEGO Marvel Disney Plus themed Superheroes collectible minifigure line. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this new series? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? And which are your favorite characters? Thanks all for tuning in, and definitely stay tuned to Duck Breaks for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks, and bye-bye for now.